Okay, end of October, aka Halloween, status update, 2023, I think it's. Okay, so since the last update, okay, the first thing I have written here is the word "oh man" here, and yeah, it's because like right after the Halloween thing, the Halloween thing, like right after the past status update. So here it was 19th of September 2023. Well, the next Sunday I went to have lunch with my aunt, and then something happened. And yeah, essentially, like I guess, end of September, early October was kind of like a couple of weeks or 2-3 weeks that were kind of revolving around that event. It's not like some super crazy event or anything like that. It was just something like relationship related that kind of, a change in perspective, you could say, something like that. And also my Malaga trip was around there, I think, 2 weeks ago. So yeah, like essentially around the topics of this video, which are basically that my mind was structured around trips. So this is the trip I had. Then yeah, the 3 weeks that I spent doing that, 100 videos. I made 7, no, not sure if 7, like I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just barely 5 videos. I made actually a lot more videos, but most of them are like private or that kind of stuff. And a couple of them I didn't actually like I didn't end up publishing, even though they were not private in that sense. But yeah, this is going to be video 97, I think, because of that. Then more stuff that I talked about in that video. I still haven't sorted out the client thing. I'm slow. There are new developments on the works, and with new developments, I actually mean here essentially like envelopments, like going backwards instead of going forwards, going backwards. Because I talked about it here in my live stream, thinking a lot out loud about value, and here I think out loud about that. Essentially, coming to the conclusion that I don't have anything to give. That my value proposal is very weak and that I don't feel confident at all about it. So, yeah, I don't know. So I'm feeling quite bad about that. Then I talk about my wardrobe there, like about my wardrobe and my environment and how it's untidy. And yeah, I kind of organized my room, so at least one thing's going upwards. But yeah, not that well, I guess. The rest of it, I cleared a couple of drawers of old stuff that I brought to light, like for example this sweater, and yeah, so there are some things that I had hidden up there that I took out, and yeah, that I guess more or less deprivatized or whatever. And yeah, I actually talked a lot about it, kind of related to the event. I talked about it a little bit, so I feel better because I talked about it, but yeah, but obviously talking doesn't solve anything, so yeah. Well, it could be argued that, but yeah, it doesn't materially change the conditions in which you live, talking, essentially. Then I talk a little bit about money at the end, and yeah, I obviously still think about money. And yeah, I highlighted this tweet essentially as to how am I feeling right now, and essentially I'm feeling trapped and pretty bad about it, about everything, which is essentially that I realized what I gravitate to so much towards entrepreneurship, and it's that the companies I like and that would like to help, I end up realizing that I would bring down, or essentially be like a negative ad. This thing I realized yesterday watching a video by Jaime Altozano. Because I don't know if I talked about it here. I told my friends and all this, but I talked about it with my friends. I did talk about it with my friends.
Esto es la industria.
And yeah, essentially this is, I did apply to his company like 2 years ago or something like that. And I considered doing it beginning of 2023, I think, also. But I didn't. I ended up not doing it. And yeah, essentially watching this video, not sure if when I watched it. This is 11 p.m., 12 p.m., 29, and this is 1 day ago. I don't know. Yeah, but essentially, I like there is a frame here where he is working with his team.
Lo que es
Here.
las
Yeah, so essentially, when I watched this frame, I was like, huh, I applied to be here, right? This is what I applied to. And I don't know, kind of seeing the work environment, I don't know, seeing like that it's a room with everyone side by side. I don't know, something about it, about seeing this kind of, I guess, cozy setup, but with people like heavily doing this video editing on this video, which is very good and which is really interesting. I don't know, it made me sad. And it kind of like, I'm not sure when I tweeted this, if I tweeted it before or after watching the video, I don't remember. I think before, because I watched it recently and this is like 2 days ago. But yeah, essentially, I realized that, for example, this is a company that I like, right? And a company that I would like to help. And I realized that I would bring, like, my presence there, it's like I don't fit there. I don't know. I realized that I don't fit there. So essentially, if there is a company that I like, I don't fit. And on the rest, right, the companies I don't like, it's like, I don't feel like getting paid by them, right? Feels dumb. Like, lately I've been thinking about cruises, like cruise ships and the people that work in the cruise ships, right? And it's like, I don't know, there are different conditions there that could bring down because a cruise ship, I don't like a cruise ship company, right? This is like classic labor. And there are like certain elements of the environment that I think are like waking up enough that maybe I could like tolerate, and that essentially that it is a short-term contract by nature. And like certain elements like that could make me move the needle towards something, like, right? But essentially the companies that I don't give a fuck about, I don't feel like getting paid by them, right? Because even though the companies I like to help, I realize that I would bring down the vibe. For example, I don't fit there, I would bring down the vibe. And like there is a reason I didn't get hired in the first place, right? If someone were to hire me, I would bring them down. And it's like, so if you don't give a fuck about bringing them down and you're always complaining about money, it's like, go do that, but for a company you don't like, right? And it's like, not really, because even though you're bringing them down and it's like you're sinking the ship, I don't know, it's like at the end of the day, the numbers still are like in their favor, right? It's like you bringing them down will not bring them down enough as like payment, as like, yeah, I don't know. You get it, right? Like the balance is not right. It's like here, it's not right because there is too much bad for the good that comes. And in the companies that are bad, the good is like there is too much good compared to the bad that I cause, right? That's like my theory. And like my only solution is to like become a free agent. That's why I gravitate so much towards entrepreneurship. Like this is like the mind trap I've put myself into for some reason, right? This is like the mind trap I reside in currently. And yeah, the problem with that is that my market value is negative at the moment, which sucks. For the moment, I hope I said here. Let's see. Then, recently on my mind, this is like, yeah, this is essentially talking about what happened since then, and this is essentially talking like what's more recently on my mind. And I'm sick, as you can tell by my voice. I'm sick. Last time I was sick, I had something nice to say, aka it ended and it felt like it wasn't, blah, blah, blah. It was like, yeah, essentially, yeah, it ended and it felt like it wasn't going to end. Therefore, I am grateful for having been sick because it gave me perspective. Yeah, last time I was sick, I was feeling like that. I was feeling like, wow, I was sick, but I came through and I remember the dark depths of being sick and how it felt like so blah, 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 right? And I think it showed up in my habits. I actually like had a good run of walking a lot. I don't know. I think like I internalized this sense of gratefulness with being alive or something like this, right? And I rewarded my body for that. I I walked. I got healthy exercise. Got sun in my skin. All these things, right? And I'm sick again. And on the contrary, right now I don't feel like it's a bad kind of sickness. I just feel like weakened, and the perspective that it has given me is that my life sucks and that it is essentially boring as hell, and that not even sickness can halt like the sickness. The only thing that sickness halts is hanging out with people, which doesn't feel that bad. Like for me, it fucks me up, right? It does. Like yeah, I had to cancel a thing, and I didn't usually go to see my friends as usual, right? So yeah, that sucks to me, right? But it's like I think of the flip side, and it's like meh. Like the flip side is like my friends hung out as usual, and it probably happened. Like I cancelled, but the thing I cancelled, it's like yeah, she probably like has other plans as well, right? She can make plans and all this shit, right? It's like it doesn't even matter that much. So yeah, essentially it's like the perspective this sickness has given me is essentially that nothing stalls because of my presence, right? It's like because of my lack of presence. My life is completely inconsequential in in any important well, not important sense, but in many senses my life is completely inconsequential, and in the senses where it's consequential or where has some consequence, I don't know. There are a couple of, and I guess maybe I could be grateful that I do have a couple of senses in which it is not completely inconsequential, which I am grateful, I will say. But since I am sick, what the sickness has allowed me to see is the sense to which and the depth to which it is inconsequential, right? And it is like when I was living my life healthy and all this, I could, I don't know. It's like I ignored it. I wasn't aware of this inconsequentialness as much, right? I thought of it, and I was like, I do have a couple of notes on my notes thing that are like, I don't know, something like purpose. No. Consequential, some synonym of consequential. Yeah, it's something like this. I have a note that is like irreplaceable, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but I had something like that, and essentially that I do think about these things. It's not the sense exclusively that when I'm sick I start thinking that I'm inconsequential. It's like no, I know it before I'm sick. I know that I don't do anything with my life and all this, but I don't know. It's like it feels that the things that I do day to day, when I'm happy and when I'm like following the track of life or whatever, it feels better. But now it feels like shit, right? Now it feels completely. It feels like it gets revealed that I am way more inconsequential and replaceable. With replaceable, I don't even mean replaceable because I'm not even doing anything to replace me with. Right? It's like this sense of not even being replaceable. Right? It's like if you're replaceable, at least you're doing something in the meantime. Right? I'm like not even replaceable. Right? This is the thing. Something like this. This is kind of like the thing that being sick makes me feel like, right? It's not like bad, because earlier when I was sick, it's like I was so sick and so badly, so like I was feeling so bad that I was like, fuck, is this it? Am I going to die here? And coming out healthy was like, whoa, I am actually alive and well, blah, 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 right? Now, this is not that kind of thing. This is like, fuck, I know that I'm going to come alive, like to come out of this alive easily, and like my sickness is not even that grave. It just incapacitates me for a couple of days, right? And I just say, what does me being incapacitated for a couple of days look like? And it's like my life is exactly the same, only without the good things, right? Without the couple of good things of meeting people a couple of times, right? So it's like essentially my life will continue to be, once I recover myself, I will get back the good things a little bit, but the thing that it was revealed from it was that I am essentially either living the dream already, in which case it sucks, or because the only thing that got removed was the good things, right? Or that I'm just like, I don't know. Then I think I just talked too much about these things. Another thing, Miami. I've been watching a lot of stuff about Miami. Llados. I don't know if you know who Llados is. Well, it's this guy. and yeah, these are some videos that I was watching yesterday because of this. And yeah, I found out his house, which is in Miami, and I've been looking a lot at Miami. Yeah, and not only the expensive part. This is Sunny Isles. These are like 5 million. Yeah, these Trump buildings. All of these Trump buildings. The Porsche design building, which is close to here. There is a building. This is the Porsche design building. This is going to be the Armani Casa residences or something. No, or the Aston Martin, the Bentley residences. I don't know. All of these are going to be fucking expensive as buildings, like these ones and the Trump ones. Yeah, this is the Armani Casa, the Porsche design. This, which is going to be like, I think, the Bentley residences. These Trump buildings. Yeah, the Trump Grand Tower, the Trump Beach Resort. All of these, I think, were developed by the same guy. And yeah, I've been watching this, but I haven't only been watching like the high-end stuff, right? I've been watching. Also Llados, which is like this guy. This famous guy lives here in Hibiscus Island. We found his house, and yeah, essentially, you can check his crib out. It's this one, and yeah, I've been looking at how would living in Miami be like, and I've been looking at some people who live in Hialeah, which is a place in Miami where they speak like only Spanish. Here in Hialeah, people speak only Spanish, and yeah, it's essentially, it looks like an interesting lifestyle that I would like to have, right? And it essentially, because in Miami there is like a lot of money and opportunity and all this, and I've been thinking about it, right? I don't know. Like I sense, like there is in some sense that there is a me in Miami that could not sure if thrive, but yeah, that there is a part of me that belongs in Miami, right? It's like someone who likes cars, and Miami is essentially like a city that you cannot live without a car. It's like super strange, and like everyone is like so connected to cars, and everything is like status oriented around cars. I don't know. It is a city that has that vibe to it, and I would like to experience it, right? Given that I'm from Europe and all this. Then I've also been looking at like Turkmenistan today and Tajikistan a couple of days ago. I have like this thing here, which is like a in Spain, our ministry, our foreign affairs ministry or something like this, makes these kind of documents, and I've been looking at them. Yeah, and yeah, I have some kind of fascination of like ex-Soviet countries, and I would yeah, it's like I don't see myself living in there like I do see myself living in Miami, and I don't sense like there is money and opportunity there, which is like why I'm not drawn to there. But there is some sense that would like that in which I would like to meet, like, I don't know, someone from Turkmenistan, for example. Like, who the fuck is from Turkmenistan and knows English and like gets my vibe a little bit, right? It's like, if there is someone watching this from Turkmenistan or from Tajikistan or from like, yeah, from an ex-Soviet country where it's, I guess, tough to go, but that is not intrinsically like dangerous, or like it's not like not literally North Korea or something like this, right? Or like it's not the Gaza Strip, right? They are strange because like no one goes there, but also the people that go there are like, I don't want to say patronizing, because they are like going to places that no one goes to, so they have to give the basic information because of that. But I would like to go like one layer above it, right? And for that, I feel like I have to know people. Like, I feel like the key element is the people, especially in these places where you don't even know the language, where it's like a relatively uncommon language, and where you could know Russian and go further than if you don't know Russian, for example, but where it doesn't take you, I guess, to the not to the meat of it. I don't want to like reveal Turkmenistani state secrets or anything like that, right? I don't want to get in trouble with the government or something, but I do want to know like how the fuck does this country run? Like, you don't have internet in Turkmenistan. It's like you have like some kind of shitty internet. Do you? If this is a misconception, like I want to know the truth, right? And how do you find out about cars? Like, who? You see people in weddings getting married with BMW 5 Series or shit like that. I don't know. This is like something I'm thinking about, right? And that I would. This is something I'm thinking about just because I'm not going to like execute on this. I'm not going to be messaging Turkmenistani people. I actually thought of adding a Turkmenistani guy I found on Facebook, but I don't know if he speaks English. I may do it anyways. But yeah, I don't know. Essentially, I would prefer if they found me than me finding them. But because me finding them is like the only reasonable situation, this is what's going to happen. But yeah, essentially, this is what I wanted to talk about. And then I've also been thinking about local stuff. And this is because, for example, I've been watching a lot of this really regarding the entrepreneurship and the money thing, right? It's like this is a billionaire, like one of the few Spanish billionaires, I guess. And he's actually from Badalona. He's not like that local to me, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of like the podcasts, the episodes. I've watched them in full. They're interesting, and I like and like this guy, you can tell that he's just like a regular guy in the sense that he speaks like a regular dude. He is not like you can tell that he's self-made in that sense, right? That he's a self-made billionaire, and I think he has interesting insights. And he is literally from my country, right? So it is kind of something that's more or less, I guess, closer than if a self-made billionaire from the US starts talking about this stuff, right? So I've been thinking more in this local angle, right? Because he has value to give. He could give value to everyone, you could say, right? He probably knows English. He could make videos in English to reach a wider audience. But the magic that he has, right, is that he does it in Spanish, in Spain Spanish, right? So it's like he can reach the people in Spain that much deeper, right? When I listen, you can, like, based on the small things like his tone of voice, his way of talking, his accent, all these things, right? You can really believe it them more, right? It's not like, and there is also a big sense of opportunity in the sense that people from Latin America can also hear it, I guess. But I think that the depth that he gets to is thanks to the... there are two sides of the coin, right? One is the depth to which he can reach because of using his native tongue and all this. And the other is that even if someone from Mexico or from Peru watches it and is like, oh, this guy is from Spain, everything is not immediately relatable, right? It's still probably, if he's a guy from Peru who only knows Spanish, he's going to be like grateful that there is someone from Spain, even if he's from Spain and not super relatable, that there is a billionaire speaking Spanish that can relay the information to him, right? There is this sense of gratefulness, right? I guess. And that's what I've been thinking in terms of local stuff, right? Because if there is something where I have alpha or something like this, where I have like potential to give something good, it is in this sense, I think. In this more local sense. In bringing the global, the things that I find globally in my hero's journey towards the internet and all this, to bring them locally. This is like a component, I think, that I have. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm that part, like that welcome, I guess. I never felt welcome. So, and whenever I interact with people, right, because this podcast, he started it because of this other guy. And yeah, it's like both this guy, right, and this guy, they have newsletters and all this, right? And I'm signed up to this newsletter, right? And sometimes I reply, right? And you can tell that they don't really give a shit about the replies, right? It's like these are like funnels. Well, it's not that I care deeply about it, but it's not the way in which I think, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm poor, but it's not the way that I would like to be responded at when I'm a nobody, right? It's like this guy, for example, I live in the life of this kind of delivery boy, right? It's like you can tell he's clickbaiting with humble type life or whatever, when he probably just doesn't live that life anymore, if he even lived it ever. Yeah, it's even it's even like sponsored by Just Eat, the video, right? So it's like they are like being this kind of, we are speaking to every guy, right? We are speaking to the everyman, because this guy is like someone who started from the bottom, and this guy, I guess, wants to say it as well, and they are appealing to that base without, in my opinion, respecting that base, right? It's like they are preaching, and it's not that I don't like being preached at, it's that I like that when I communicate, I get communicated back, right? And this is not the kind of enterprise that they are running, right? So I am still not, in my attempts to contact them, right, which are basically reply to their newsletter emails or something like this, have been unsuccessful, right? It's not that I give a tremendous amount of value or whatever. No, it's simply that I am honest, right? And if me being honest does not work, then I don't. It's like I feel less connected to this, right? I feel less connected to my local things. Meanwhile, when I've reached out to some place globally, right, to some people who are online in English or whatever, I have been able to like receive a reply or something like this, right? It's like it's easier for me to that. So I feel like less connected to my local, right? I feel less welcome. I never feel welcome. Maybe because I seek these spaces instead of seeking other spaces in my language. I don't know. But this is something that I wanted to comment. And I think I'm going to close that. And bye.